They happen without permission. They can explode out of your face at speeds reaching 160 kilometers per hour. And the one thing most people do when a sneeze is coming could be far more dangerous than they realize. Every day, billions of sneezes erupt around the world. Most last less than a second. Most are forgotten instantly. But hidden inside that tiny burst is a biological force powerful enough to damage your own body. And that raises a strange question. What would happen if you stopped every sneeze for the rest of your life? At first, it sounds like a great idea. No embarrassing interruptions. No awkward moments in meetings. No spraying germs across a room. In fact, you might think the world would actually be healthier. But here's the strange part. Your sneeze isn't a mistake. It's a defense system. Every time dust, pollen, perfume, smoke, pet hair, or another unwanted particle enters your nose, your body launches an emergency response. Tiny nerve endings detect the intruder and immediately send a signal to your brain. Then everything begins. Your lungs fill with air. Your throat tightens. Pressure starts building. Muscles throughout your body prepare for impact. Even your eyelids join the reaction. It's like your entire respiratory system is holding its breath, waiting, preparing. And then, boom, the unwanted material is blasted out before it can cause more trouble. Doctors compare the process to restarting a frozen computer. A quick reset. A biological Control-Alt-Delete. But what if you interrupt that reset every single time? What happens to all that pressure? And where does it go? Because the answer is much more disturbing than most people expect. And that's when things changed. You might assume holding in a sneeze is harmless. After all, people do it every day. But that assumption hides a dangerous reality. When you block a sneeze, the pressure doesn't disappear. It stays trapped inside you. In fact, researchers have found that suppressing a sneeze can create up to 24 times more pressure inside the respiratory system compared to simply letting it happen. Think about that. Your body is preparing to release an explosive burst of air. Then, at the last second, you slam every exit shut. So where does all that force go? And this is where it gets weird. Instead of escaping outward, the pressure can redirect inward. Blood vessels can rupture. Muscles can strain. Eardrums can tear. Some people have even forced infected mucus into their middle ear, creating painful infections that wouldn't have happened otherwise. But that's not even the craziest part. In rare cases, the consequences become far more serious. Doctors have documented situations where trapped air was forced into spaces where it should never exist. Air can become trapped between the lungs. Internal tissues can swell. Medical emergencies can develop from something that started as a simple sneeze. Now imagine a world where everyone suppresses every sneeze. At first, disease transmission might decrease. Fewer germs would be launched into the air. Fewer cold viruses might spread from person to person. Sounds like a win. Except there's a catch. The very action designed to protect public health could create an entirely new category of injuries. And one real-life case shows exactly how bad things can get. What happened to one man in Britain shocked even experienced doctors. And the outcome completely changed how experts view suppressed sneezes. In 2018, a man in Britain felt a sneeze coming. Instead of letting it out, he pinched his nose and closed his mouth. A decision that took less than a second. What happened next sent him straight to the hospital. The pressure became so extreme that it ruptured the back of his throat. Doctors discovered damage deep inside the area connecting his mouth, nasal cavity, and esophagus. Even more alarming, air from his lungs had been forced into tissues inside his neck and chest. Once trapped there, it couldn't easily escape. He spent an entire week in the hospital. He needed a feeding tube. He required intravenous antibiotics. All because of one suppressed sneeze. But here's the bigger twist. This case was considered rare. If everyone suddenly held in every sneeze, rare cases might stop being rare. Hospitals could see more ruptured eardrums, more burst blood vessels, more respiratory injuries, more complications caused by pressure that had nowhere to go. Meanwhile, everyday life would look strangely different. You'd hear "bless you" far less often. Cold viruses might spread less efficiently. But emergency rooms could become much busier. What started as an attempt to avoid a tiny inconvenience would create a completely new problem. And that's the hidden truth about sneezing. It's annoying. It's awkward. It's sometimes embarrassing. But it's also one of your body's most important safety valves. A sneeze lasts a fraction of a second. The damage from stopping one can last much longer. So the next time you feel that familiar tickle in your nose, remember this. Your body isn't malfunctioning. It's protecting itself. But here's the question nobody can answer with certainty. If a single suppressed sneeze can cause so much damage, how many people are walking around right now carrying injuries they never realized started with one tiny sneeze?